Check out our sponsor, Famous Faces and Funnies. Hey, why don't you tap into the Florida market? Check out their Whatnot and Facebook Live auctions on great deals, as well as the main sponsor, PGX Grading Services, the Gen X place to get your comics graded and in case, shipping nationwide. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename New to Vero 2. Hi, I'm your presenter, Shabu Are You. Well, we're continuing on with one of our favorite segments that we've been doing on this channel since 2014, and that is take a look at graded magazine unboxing. Thanks to our longtime sponsor and friends over at PGS. And as of 2024, we are exclusively working with PGX and no longer affiliated with EGS grading services. PGX, the Gen X for Gen X place to get your comics graded and in case. And if those who used to use CGC and sick of all that big business corporate type of shenanigans, hey, why don't you try supporting a fan-run, fan-operated company like PGX? And if you watch all of the episodes that I've shown, you know, PGX is no slouch. They offer a quality product, excellent grading, and excellent turnaround time. Even when CGC was going through all of that trouble during the pandemic with back orders, PGX was still producing and turning around comics at a good time. So with that aside, we have a nice selection of relevant books from the past that a lot of us Gen Xers love. You don't have to be getting your comics graded. This is a fun segment where we can reminisce about the books from our childhood and a little bit of the grading process. And what's cool, if you follow me regularly, you'll see these books in my pickup episodes. So to see the full kind of life cycle of these books, getting books graded and sending them off to PGX is quite a bit of fun. It's fun for you and it's fun for me. So with all that aside, let's dive in because we have a stack about this high. So I'm going to break it down to a couple of segments and a couple of episodes. So the first, Magnificent Seven. Let's start off with a book that's really hot. I mean, XMen 97 just wrapped up and there was a whole bunch of stuff to digest. It seemed to be for a little time that X-Men was kind of forgotten franchise. You know, there wasn't that many trending books in the X-Men scene, but all that is gone. X-Men has been destroying the top 10 trending, top 10 pickups episodes on all the other friends channels. So that's why this book has been spiking up. And believe it or not, I got this over a year ago because of the possibility that this character will be making a major impact in X-Men 97. And I'm talking about Uncanny X-Men 221. This is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. And we all seen what Mr. Sinister did to Cable, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, and what's going on at the end. He is still very much a player in what's going to continue with X-Men Season 2 and Season 3. That's right. Season 2 and 3 are definitely confirmed. Talks are already going on for Season 4. So, Mr. Sinister, you know, also think about him transitioning to the MCU to live action. You know, we all know that X-Men live action is just around the corner. So Magneto's been done. What big bad can they use? And Mr. Sinister seems to be the person that's pointing in all the right directions. So if you're smart, maybe not now, maybe when the kind of X-Men 97 hype train dies down a little bit. But this is was at the time a very good key, low buy-in, but now high reward. And I expect this one, in another 20 years, another 15 years, this thing is going to double and quadruple in value. X-Men 221. First, Mr. Sinister. Oh, and we got a 9.4, so that's pretty good. And on the back of it, I like it. It's the announcement of the Peter Parker and Mary Jane wedding. And we know that there's two versions of this. There's the one with all the heroes. I think that was the direct. And then all the villains were on the newsstand. So, and then they did a mock wedding at Shea Stadium with Stan Lee as the presiding over the wedding. So this was kind of like, you know, remember that time when all that transpired. The next book, of course, when we go to MCU, the next big thing in our pop culture is Star Wars. Now, this one is kind of floating below the radar. A lot of people are kind of looking past this, but if you are a regular of this channel, you know as all of us red-blooded males are, that Slave Leia. And there's not many offerings for Slave Leia. We already seen the Black series offer that one with the face that looked like it was depressed, and there's a possibility there'll never ever be a Slave Leia offered as an action figure due to the climate, the woke climate that we live in, so to speak. I don't mean to label it, but I'm just saying, you know, now it seems politically incorrect to put out a Slave Leia action figure. But search this book out. You'll see why. I'm talking about classic Star Wars. This is from Dark Horse in 1994. So just before the prequels came out, there was a sudden push by Dark Horse to kind of, you know, they already had the Shadow of the Empire and all that stuff kind of died down and everything. Now, you know, Star Wars, they have the rights to make Star Wars. But this is from, the artist is a young Adam Hughes. So Adam Hughes, who is he's like Todd McFarlane, he's like Rob Liefeld for these modern comic kiddos. And his artwork is absolutely amazing. I really, really like his artwork. I think it's just phenomenal. But this is the only time he's done a Slave Leia. And to get a cover of Slave Leia, which she doesn't appear, I mean, there's not many Slave Leia covers out there. So, and being done by Adam Hughes. So this is reprints of Marvel's Super Special number 7 or 27. So this is a reprint, but still, it's the Adam Hughes cover, the Slave Leia cover, that makes this absolutely intriguing. And we got a 7.0, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, it looks good. The clean and press that they did, and I knew that this was probably in some back bin somewhere in some comic shop, but this is one that when I saw, I was like, yes, finally, this is going straight to grading. So I'm glad to have this in my collection. You would be wise to be on the lookout for this. The prices are pretty low, pretty reasonable, but I'm sure once it comes out, this will be skyrocketing in value and in demand. We all have seen what happened with Dave Stevens, who just recently had a documentary. He was known for drawing pin-up covers and stuff like that, going to a different beat of the drum. Not that Adam Hughes is like that, but at the same time, there seems to be a re-emergence for these pin-up type covers, and nothing can hold a candle to Slave Leia. So, classic Star Wars, Return of the Jedi number 1 from 1994. Archie Goodwin did this story, yeah, that's right. And then the back here is, I think this is another title, Dark Empire 2. So that's on the back. Alright, moving along. We're still in the world of Star Wars, and a lot of us Gen Xers may not know about this next character because she's part of, she hasn't appeared in cartoon, and she hasn't appeared in live action yet. So it's going to be interesting, but what's going to come forward with this. But this is Darth Vader issue number 3 from 2015. I remember when this series came out. It's part of one of the first series that came out under the Lucas or Disney umbrella that Marvel now having the rights for Star Wars comic books. But Dr. Aphra is a very interesting character. And even though I've shit on modern Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, I see this character going somewhere and being used in the future. I mean, really used in the future. And I think they're just waiting for the right occasion to bring her out. But to just give you a summary, she kind of worked for Darth Vader, and any second she knew that Darth Vader was going to kill her. So she was like working on borrowed time. She would talk back to Vader. She just did his bidding, so to speak. But on exchange, even there were times that it seems like in the comics that she wanted to die. She just wanted to be, but Vader just kept her alive just to torture her more and make her do his bidding. So she would go like find artifacts, Jedi holocrons, stuff like that. And she had, if you could see here, I'll bring up a picture since I'm a little far away. She had a Bizarro C-3PO. This guy was a killer. He would see a person and be like, oh, let's just kill it. He knew every way to kill any living being. He was ruthless. And then she had a Bizarro bad R2-D2 as well. So it's kind of funny. If you could take Han Solo and probably a little bit of Asajj Ventress, I guess. Dr. Aphra would be a good middle person in that. She was Vader's personal bounty hunter, so to speak. So this is the first appearance. These are skyrocketing in value. I mean, 9.8, getting around $300, something in that ballpark. And once this character is integrated in either live action, because she has her own series, spin-off series, with her adventures. So, I really think that even though I shit on modern Disney Star Wars, that there's going to be a huge, huge upside to this book. There's also a variant cover for this that's even more like in the $500 range. So this is definitely a book to buy in now before she makes her Disney Plus or Star Wars movie debut, because I really think they're going to utilize this character more so than like a Cad Bane or something like that. So definitely Darth Vader issue number 3, the first appearance of Dr. Aphra. So most of my pickups, are going up and down the coast of Florida, visiting all of our friends at comic shops. But I do utilize online, and you may think eBay, but no, that's not the case. Oftentimes I look in Facebook Marketplace. I found that, there's some good values, some good books there. No one really uses Craigslist anymore, but, I guess that's still out there. Now, there is a plus minus, good, bad, when it comes to buying things online. You cannot physically see the book. Same thing with eBay. You can't physically see the book. You can't look at it or, make a decision like you do at a con or at a local comic shop. So, in a sense, you're making a gamble. And sometimes the gamble pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. And then there's a third section where you're kind of like, and you gotta, I guess, kind of come to terms with it. And that's what's this next book. Batman number 244. The early Ra's, I think, second appearance of Ra's al Ghul. This is a classic Neil Adams cover. Now, I really wanted this book, and the fact that I found it in Port St. Lucie, Florida, off an elderly guy who was getting rid of his collection, I was ecstatic. The buy-in was right, everything was right. I'm like, this is too good to be true. And the cover, as you can see, looks absolutely astonishing. It is very nice, considering it's, I mean, the clean and press service that PGX did really brought this book out and saved it. So you may be like, hey, what the hell's the problem? And it got a 5.5. That's okay with this book. Because I'm more interested, like my regular stuff. Does the cover look good? Does the back look good? And those are definitely yeses in my opinion. And it's a Neil Adams, classic Batman Neil Adams cover. Now, if you look at the very top, I'll bring it closer to you. This says restored. I had looked through this book briefly and I didn't find any restores. But then when I talked to Danny over at PGX, said there was a little bit of touch up from a marker. Are you shitting me? One of the pages had a little bit of black, and that's a lot of people have been dinged by that in the grading. People don't realize, black marker is pretty, at first glance, you can't tell. But he used a little bit of a black marker I don't think he did it maliciously or did it on purpose, because the buy-in price was kind of reflected, even though he didn't specify it. But it's like, okay, in another 20 years, it'll be worth, significantly a lot. And it is a Neil Adams cover. It does look good. Who gives a shit? I'm happy. I think it's the book I wanted. It's preserved. It's saved. It can't get any worse than this. And I think this is a win-win. You got to look at it. I'm a glass half full type of person. So I'm definitely glad about that. Batman number 244 from 1972. We're going even further back, but the same damn thing happened. And I guess I bought it from the same damn person. Again, it's not his fault. I really think that they didn't do it maliciously. But we're looking at XMen number 34, a low XMen. XMen 97, XMen is the rage. I got this in 2023, and this book came, and you got Roy Thomas and Dan Atkins right after Stan Lee and Jack King Kirby kind of like handed over the reins, so to speak, to the X-Men title, but no real big significance. Mole Man makes an appearance, crossing over from Fantastic Four to X-Men, so that's pretty cool. I love these books. I mean, yeah, it says slight restoration, minor color touch. Same thing. But again, the book looks nice. It is a 5.0, even though with that, and PGX does make note of it. You'll see, unlike CGC where the whole damn thing is green, they subtly put it on the end right here as well as on the side, letting somebody know that this is a restored copy. It has some issues, but nonetheless, the cover looks great. It's presentable. The back looks good as well. So if that's the problem with modern comic kiddos, is they're so hell-bent on 9.8s that they don't take looking at the actual book and appreciating the actual comics themselves. I think the Gen X crowd is better at that. They know what a magazine or a comic book has to endure to get to that point, how many hands touched it, the storage of it. So getting 9.8s all the time isn't as fun. This is fun. I mean, it sucks, but it doesn't suck too. So it's the way you look at things. So the next one is a win-win-win. And this is Fantastic Four number 77 from 1968. Jack the King Kirby goodness and Stan Lee. I mean, anytime you get a book with that combination and it looks like this, and this is no restored nothing. This is 4.5, honest 4.5, and I'm happy with that. I like the back as well. that came out pretty good. Red is a tough grade. So we're already had the deck stacked against me, but it still came out pretty good. And this is a good 4.5. I mean, considering the age, you know, yeah, it has a lot, but that's okay. That is totally okay. So I'm actually happy with that. All right, so our last book is where we showed a little bit of the bad of buying off. Well, some may think it as the bad. Let's look at good, and this gets as good as it gets by far. I saw this book and I was like, you know, I don't have that. I know I can't afford, I mean, not that I can't, I'm not willing, let's put it that way, to spend so much money on a pristine copy of that. So that's okay. I'm good with the lower grades as long as it's an iconic book. That's fine. The win is just having the book in my collection. So this gentleman posted Swamp Thing number 37. Now, if you're in the comic community, you'll know about Mark Jeweller's inserts, which was primarily placed around army bases. Because when people would go to the 7-Eleven, buy the army bases, you know, Mark Jeweler would put a insert where they could buy rings and jewelry and send it to their loved ones. This was a common thing around bases, but you'll not see these in regular newsstands. You will not see this in regular direct market, regular not that there was it. Yeah, there was comic shops. So these were not offered in comic shops or at your local 7-Eleven or gas station. You had to be around an army base to get this. So this makes this even more rare. Adding a newsstand, Mark Jeweler insert, and the fact that it is Swamp Thing number 37. A key book, key Alan Moore book, featuring the first of John Constantine, sorry about that. But it's his first appearance. This book and the entire Alan Moore run, people pull out issue 1 and this one are the most expensive ones to get. And the fact that it is a key issue, it is a newsstand, it is a Mark Jewelers. And my buy-in for this, $25. So you're looking at, you know, close to a three, maybe $400 book. Maybe more, I don't know yet, because there's not, this is probably the only one I've seen in the census so far. So this is definitely a win-win. This makes up for everything, let's put it that way. But the back looks great, and the fact that I have this and, you know, it's part of my collection, and it's the first time I got that lucky. I mean, I never had a Mark. I think I had some growing up as a kid. We all probably did. We didn't think much of it. We just thought it just took up space, but it just turns out that those Mark Jeweler inserts are highly sought after as, like, you know, besides newsstands. Anyway, I thought this would be fun, and also wanted to share off my latest custom shirt. This was made for me, featuring the red Cobra ninjas. I don't know, you can see the Cobra sign down there. But I'm liking these custom t-shirts that I'm getting. Anyway, that does it for this episode. And we're going to have, I mean, the stack is this high, so I'm going to break it down to a few episodes during the course of the week before I head off to the fighting city of Philadelphia. And then after that, I'll be heading to Dallas. But I thought this would be fun to share with all of you since we haven't done it in a while. And there's a reason behind that, you know, I just totally forgot. And PGX is like, you know, we have this shipment here. And I'm like, oh, all right. So Danny, Colette, the people at PGX are so awesome to deal with. They're real people. It's not like a switchboard in a corporation. I've gotten to know them during the course of these many years. They're very good friends, and that's what you get with PGX. You get that sense of a close-knit, small operations where people know each other's names. You don't get that with CGC. I'm sorry. And for all the push that these modern comic kids give to CGC, why? I mean, PGX, as you can see, offers the same exact thing. And in the world of business, monopolies are not good, because in the end, we are all going to be affected. If CGC is one bad executive decision from going under, our whole hobby is going to go under, and that's not good for the future generations. It's good to have more than one company in this particular hobby. So that's why I recommend PGX. If you heard all these stories, half of them are from way back, and that's because of things happen sometimes. But you guys have been following me regularly. I've been dealing with PGX since 2014. I have not had one issue, not one. And that speaks for, and the amount of books I sent them. So the statistics, just show for itself that they are a reputable company. You get a quality product and good turnaround time, and you're not giving your monies to a bunch of people who care about charts and spreadsheets and fiscal years. It's more about the hobby. Anyway, this is Shabu Are You. We'll see you in a few days with part 2 of a PGX unboxing. See you later. Bye.